Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1622. Right, wow, look at this. Right at 9 o'clock. Right on time, if I set the time to be 9 o'clock. Good morning. Happy college basketball day. Western Illinois Leathernecks taking on Radford tonight. I did renew my ESPN subscription. So I got the bundle deal. So I get ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney, which I have YouTube TV, so I don't get any of those since I have YouTube TV. So, hey, perfect timing, I guess. So I've got that so I can watch the Leathernecks tonight. Wisconsin taking on Campbell tonight. So I'll be tuned in. And I think I've asked this before, the pronunciation of Quinnipiac. Is it Quinnipiac? Quinnipiac? But whoever they are, they play St. John's. That's the very first college basketball game of the 2025-26 season. I think that tips off at 4:30 Central, or maybe 5:30 Central. So I've got my ESPN Plus ready to go for little college hoops. I am tired, and I think part of my tiredness, my fatigue this morning, I'm wondering if I'm getting something. Am I like catching a cold? There were 126 germ factories knocking on my door Friday night. I wonder if I caught something. So I'm just like my head. It's not like it hasn't all settled yet. Like I feel like this week, and I've got to fly to New York on Friday. So hopefully it's just tiredness from eBay Live. I don't know. So an interesting discussion on a Facebook group that I just saw this morning. Some of the messages I get are just beyond bizarre. So is it a vintage baseball group? Actually, Ray, I know Ray. He sets up at some of the local. I think he's set up at a couple of my shows. So he wants opinions. His Facebook post is, I had a card up for auction. 24-hour rule like usual. Usually, I just go by timestamps. We had a time change. So the first bid was placed Saturday at 5:43 p.m. The second bid was at 4:58 p.m. on Sunday. It still said 23 hours since last bid, but technically bidder 1 had gone 24 hours plus without being overbid. Who wins the card? I need help making the correct or best decision I can make. So here's my thought process. Here's how I interpret it. 24 hours is 24 hours. We know what 24 hours is. It's what, 1,440 minutes? Like we know. A day is technically a full day is 24 hours, but a day could be like, I'll see you in a day. Does that mean I'll see you tomorrow morning at 9:04 a.m.? No. But if I say I'll see you in 24 hours, we know that to be tomorrow morning at 9:04 a.m. So there's a little gray area when you say one day. And I don't know what his auction I don't know what the terms of his auction, the description of his auction was. I'm assuming it's just the 24-hour rule. And so by that, I would say, well, that's 24. That's pretty simple. That's 24 hours. Like I interpret a 24, it's a day. If it starts at 6 p.m., it should be 6 p.m. the next day. That's not how I interpret it. And, that's only going to be affected twice a year. Daylight savings time, when we go back to standard time like we did this past weekend. So I interpret a 24-hour rule, 24 hours. If you start it at 6 p.m. on a Saturday night, the auction ends at 6 p.m. on Sunday night, unless there's a time change. And a time change makes it, depending if we fall back or move forward, would be 24 hours. That's how, and I don't know. I guess each individual group, that's up for them to decide. But I just thought this was an interesting conversation. And I read through the comments and I'm like, what's my thought? And I'm like, you know what? 24 hours. How do I interpret the 24-hour rule? 24 hours, not a day. Like a day. Well, today's Monday. A day is Tuesday. It could be 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Like there's no time stamp on a day. unless you say 1 day, 24 hours. Or even better, say this auction ends in 24 hours tomorrow at 6 p.m. or whatever the time is from 24 hours upon the start. So I guess in these instances, there just needs to be in Facebook auctions, there needs to be a little more detail during the weekends of the time changes. So, you can, I'm not saying one or the other is wrong. I'm just saying if there's no details, 24 hours is 24 hours. If there's no instructions within the listing itself, or if the group itself doesn't have anything written down, then my interpretation would be 24 hours is 24 hours, regardless of a time change or not. So I found that to be an interesting debate conversation. And I would agree with Max. I think first, yeah, the Facebook group itself should have, if you're running auctions, if you're a Facebook group and you have people running auctions on your page, you should have terms of service or terms of auctions or whatever you call it to spell out some of these issues. And also the person posting the auction should be more specific. 24 hours. It's 24 hours. Timestamp it yourself. This auction begins at 7 p.m. Saturday night. It ends at 6 p.m. Sunday night because of the time change. And that way you avoid any of this, because apparently now he has two people upset because one said, well, it's only been how many ever hours. I don't know who, if the first bidder was, I don't know how it all worked out. But anyway, somebody was upset with the result. So I found that to be interesting. I had some auctions this weekend. I woke up to 806 orders to ship. So it's going to be a busy 2 days. I'm not going to get through all of them today. So it'll be a busy Monday and Tuesday. And I think we'll see we'll see where I'm at after today. I have a feeling I'm still going to have a shit ton of shipping to get out tomorrow. I thought maybe I'll do a daytime live sale on Tuesday. Try to get as many as I can this week because I'm going to be out of town this weekend. But Wednesday is my big show. I don't know what to think, because it's been Saturday night was like nothing, crickets, and then all of a sudden it was craziness. Sunday afternoon was great, and it started off awful. Was Sunday afternoon when it started awful? Maybe not. Maybe that was Saturday. Saturday it started awful. I don't know. Sunday was pretty good. Sunday we had a decent run on Sunday. I think it did start slow again on Sunday. I had a better Sunday afternoon during all of the NFL games than I did Sunday night when there's only one NFL game. And I think it's competition. Obviously, I think there were only two other and actually one was like a rip and ship. I think there was only one other singles auction when I went live Sunday afternoon. Whereas last night there were multiple. Sunday night, big, baseball card exchanges live. My buddy Steve's live. Sports card nonsense was live. ComC I think was live. So I mean, there's a lot of which really spreads things out. So once, and it's kind of what I'm seeing a theme on Sundays is, I start at 7 and it's just crickets. And it's a struggle. The first 90 minutes is a real struggle on Sunday nights. But then all of a sudden 9 o'clock hits and boom, it's off to the races. And then it starts to kind of peter out at 10. I got a solid hour on Sunday nights, the 9 o'clock. Maybe I just go live for an hour on Sunday nights at 9. We're going to do an hour. Go heavy in the afternoon because nobody else is going live, and then go heavy on Sunday night. So I don't know. It's like, what crowd is going to show up on Wednesday? I think I'm in for a push. I think eBay is going to actually send out basically a marketing promotion on my behalf, basically, for Wednesday night's Collector's Corner, which is you can go check out what I have, just some of the items that I have up for bid coming up on Wednesday. It's going to be some heavy hitters. I'll just grab a random stack of what I've got. I've got Larry Bird rookie in a 7. Got a Josh Allen rookie, 8.5. I got a 99 Chrome Kobe. I got a Bijan Robinson Silver Prism image variation. A Mahomes rookie. Jam City Michael Jordan. That should do really well. A Dan Marino. My Dan Marino fans haven't been around lately. Second year Silver Prism Brady. Gem 10 Peyton Manning. I got a Gem 10 Simone Biles. I've got Mickey Mantles. I've got the Barry Sanders autograph. Got a lot of good stuff. I had a Peyton Manning out of my trade with Shane. There was a Peyton Manning Gem 10. Where's it at? 2000 Collector's Edge graded Hawaii 15 preview. PSA 10 Peyton Manning. This sold for like $85. So I was very happy with that result. That was last night. So had some good stuff sell. So hopefully with that eBay push, it'll be a good Wednesday night. So I think I'm just going to take today and tomorrow off from live. So definitely have to take today off to ship. Probably tomorrow as well. And then we'll get back at it. And maybe I'll do a daytime, just kind of a cheapy sale on Wednesday. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to go to the card shop on Wednesday just to see. Although the card shop doesn't have what I've been selling lately, because I need good stuff that sells in like the $1 to $5 range. And usually what I get in the dollar boxes is not selling now, like the modern football rookies. And now we have Jaden Daniels. Ooh, gruesome injury, Jaden Daniels last night. Ugh. So my Jaden Daniels, I think the last Jaden Daniels slab that I had, I ended up selling on Saturday. So that was good timing there. But the football stuff is gone soft. What I've seen a big demand for now is like early 80s baseball. You know, I'm moving like 84 Topps, Mike Schmidt, George Brett, Robin Yount for like $3-4. So just base Topps cards. That was pretty consistent yesterday afternoon. 83 and 84 Topps singles going for $3-4. So I've got plenty of that. I just need to go through and dig them out. But in sourcing some of the rookies from that era as well. However, the slabs not do it like it's better for me to just buy them raw, get them raw, as opposed to, paying slab rates, and selling a $20 slab for $15, because that's kind of where things are at in that with those cards with, say a Ripken rookie or a Kirby Puckett rookie. So I think I did sell. Yeah, like this. I think this Kirby Puckett rookie, I think sold for $13. Sticker on it was $25, and I think I probably paid $20 for it. So the raw version probably also sells for. Actually, I think I did sell a raw rookie Kirby Puckett, and it sold for about the same price. And I could buy a raw copy for less than $5. But you're paying that PSA upcharge on the secondary market because it's in a slab, and I paid $20 to grade it. So that's kind of my schedule for the upcoming week. I fell prey to the sugar yesterday. I did good on Saturday. I wrote myself a note Saturday. I ate too much candy on Friday, so I wrote myself a note. I said, Bo, eat a banana and put it in the candy dish. And I didn't eat any candy on Saturday, but wasn't the case yesterday. I ate some candy. It's like, ooh, that sugar. So I need to eat some vegetables today. What else is going on? I think that's about it. Basically did all eBay Live. How about the Bears game yesterday? Woo! Big win for the Bears. I'm still concerned. By the way, what did I say yesterday morning? The over under on that was 51.5 points, and it ended up being 90. Was it 90? What was the final score was 47-42. So that's 89 points. 89 points. I'm like, oh, take the under. 51.5, take the under. See, don't listen to me. Bears win. I hope they trade for a defensive play, like that defense. And I know they've been ravaged by injury. But man, 42 points. Relying on your defense to score 40 plus points, going to be a tough road to hoe the rest of the way. So Bears are 5-3 now. I still think they're going to make the playoffs. Do I think they're going to win 11 games? Probably not. But I still think the Bears will make the playoffs. But playing the way they've played the last 3 weeks is a little concerning. Packers lost to the Panthers. Lions lost yesterday, so that's those are good losses for us. So I still have confidence. The Bears, who do they have? I think they had these three. They had 3 games in a row. They played teams that they should have handled. The Saints, Ravens, Bengals. And now you look at the Commanders, and the Commanders were getting pounded even with a healthy Jaden Daniels. The Commanders were getting pounded last night, and that was a game the Bears had to squeak by. Where's my app? So we got Cardinals Cowboys tonight. So Bears play the Giants. So the Giants are pretty bad. So that's good. So the Bears have a shitty schedule. Then they got the Vikings in 2 weeks. So and hopefully, and the Vikings I think are in last place, right? What's it go? Packers, Lions, Bears, Vikings. Is that how the NFC North standings look right now? I think so. Let's go to the chat. Tracy says, I feel you, Tom. Oh, I skipped way ahead. Red Light says, good morning. What's going on? Victor's in the house. Good morning. Oh, by the way, Red Light, I found another stack of 75 tops. So I've got a big box for you. Victor, welcome back. Good morning. Long time. Tracy, good morning. Tom says, well, all 3 of my favorite football teams lost yesterday. Is it baseball season yet? It's college basketball season. I don't want to skip ahead to baseball. Like, baseball's a grind. Like, for me, like, I love baseball, but I need a break. Like, I need a break from baseball. So college basketball gets me through. And then I've got like Cubs convention in January. That like gives me a taste of the upcoming season. You know, we get with the winter meetings and the Rule 5 draft. That keeps me going in December. Cubs convention in December or January. You know, just enough where it's not a day-to-day grind of baseball. But you get these little weekend bursts of baseball in the off season. And then pitchers and catchers report in mid-February. And so it goes. So college basketball gets me through the dog days of winter. Cooter says, perfect timing. Just landed in Atlanta for my 2-hour layover. Hey, how about that? Tom says, we only had 15 kids come by in our neighborhood. We had 126, and I feel like that was less than last year. I feel like we had more last year, and we had no kids after like 7. Maybe a couple tricklers in the 7 o'clock hour, but by 8 o'clock, it's been an hour. And when I went to take Ernie to go potty at like a little after 8 on Friday night, like the street was dead. Also, what I noticed, all of my neighbors have pumpkins, and they still had pumpkins on Saturday morning. I was shocked. Like, what are kids doing? Usually the where I grew up, maybe I was just, we were a bunch of assholes in Anawan. But man, on Saturday morning, there was smashed pumpkins on every street in town. Kids aren't out smashing pumpkins these days, which I guess is good. Keeps the streets clean. Boston Smoke is here. Good morning. Max says, group admins have to hash that one out. Day is 4 a.m. to 4 a.m. 24 hours is 24 hours, not a day with daylight savings. And that I agree with. Technically, it's on the group for not having that spelled out. Dat Dude says, what's up? Are Sunday sales still strong for others? I wonder if there is too much noise to stand out on Sundays. So this has been something that I've always, and I shouldn't say always, this has been something that I have been a hard believer in for auctions. 7-day auctions on Sundays, there's too much noise. And there has been since smartphones came out. Because back in the day, everybody was watching Sunday nights because they had computer time. And usually computer time was like 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock on a Sunday night, or 7 to 9, or whatever it might be. Like, oh, this is my computer time. I'm going to tie up the phone line, dial up modem, log on to eBay, and watch auctions. And that's not because we are now connected 24 hours a day to the eBay app. And so now, is there a bad time to list auctions? Yeah. Like, you don't want to list auctions that start at 3 a.m. because obviously there are lesser eyeballs. But I think there's not like on 7-day auctions, I felt I had the best 7-day auction results in the middle of the week, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Now with live selling, I'm seeing a complete opposite. I'm seeing like Friday, Saturday nights are the best. However, you also have to take that with a grain of salt. I have a very small, sample size of competitors to compare with. But guess what? On Sunday nights, guess what happens on Sunday nights? Sunday nights have not been performing well for me on live auctions. Why is that? There's more noise. We got sports card nonsense. We got ComC. We got PWC, PW Panama, what the hell? PWB, I think, whatever they are. There's a bunch of different breakers on in prime time on Sunday nights. And guess what? That dilutes the field. And I have lesser results. I had good results on Sunday afternoon. Guess why? I only had one other competitor on Sunday afternoon. So I definitely feel that Sunday. Now, when you talk buy it now, I don't think it just all depends. I mean, there's too many different things. I don't know the word I'm looking for. There's too many different things that can skew results when it comes to buy it now sales, because it comes down to each individual seller. What are they listing? What are they selling? What is their pricing? Did they unleash 1,000 new listings? Because that's probably going to push your sales if you unleash a bunch of new listings. So when it comes to buy it now, you can't really, Tuesdays are my best day, because next week it might be Monday, and then it might be Friday, and then it might be Sunday. So yeah, but I've been a firm believer, especially in the smartphone age, of Sunday nights not being when it comes to auctions, a strong day of auction sales. Tracy says, I feel you, Tom. Both of mine lost yesterday. Let's see. My Bears won. I only have one NFL team. So I was 1-0. Tom says to Tracy, either of them complete embarrassments. 2 of mine were. Tracy says, Christmas decorations going up this week. We'll have them all up by Sunday. Ready for the Christmas music. Hear, hear. I'll drink to that. Mark is here. What's going on? Red Light says, Skeet, show off the new stand for WWE night. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I did schedule WWE. I don't know if I talked about this yesterday, but I did schedule a WWE wrestling night because I'm taking Thursdays off from wrestling night. We're not going to do a weekly wrestling night anymore. But I'm going to schedule it around the premium live events, formerly known as pay-per-views. And Survivor Series, one of the big benchmark pay-per-views in WWE. We're going to run Saturday night. I'm going to really push myself Thanksgiving week. Saturday night, November 29th, after the Madison Card Show, we'll do wrestling night. So hopefully I have some dealers that have some wrestling so I can source some wrestling that day. So wrestling night will return on Saturday night, November 29th, the weekend of Thanksgiving. And we'll have the ring back, and it's going to be a watch along. We're going to have the WWE Survivor Series on in the background. So looking forward to the return of wrestling night, and we'll have the wrestling belt in the ring, the card stand wrestling belt from Red Light 34. So we'll have wrestling night returning for a watch along with Survivor Series. And when I mentioned that yesterday or last night, and I had one person in the chat was like super excited about it. So at least I'll have one person in the room. Now, if they bid, remains to be seen. Max says, no need for breaks. The World Series showed why baseball is still the best. No clock. My team played embarrassingly yesterday too, but we are still easily the best in the division. So there's that. Likely lost the best tight end in the league yesterday. Yeah, that sucks. I mean, he's a good player. I don't root for any injuries. Sucks to see that. Gem City says, good morning. We smashed our pumpkins yesterday. You have to bring it on prime time. You have to bring it. Yeah. And that's the thing. And I'm still in a live selling growth phase where I'm a little hesitant. I'm going to bring it Wednesday night, and hopefully the audience is there. But on a Sunday night, when I've already done, and I had a successful live stream on Sunday afternoon, I'm running stuff that wasn't getting bids. I'm selling stuff that should go for $3 to $4 normally, that's selling for $1. And it's like I almost gave up. I was tired last. I think I am getting something because I was super tired. I wasn't getting any action. It's like, you know what? If there's no bidding, like even on the good stuff, if there's no bidding, I'm just going to bring crap. Like we're just going to run crap. And eventually we got there. We turned things around, but it was a solid, like almost 2 hours of just like, gosh, excruciating, like dollar. But that's what happens. And I understand, like I wasn't listing great stuff, but when I was listing, like this is a $10 card, it sells for $1. So it's like, you know what? I'd rather list a bunch of dime cards and quarter cards and dollar cards and sell them for $1 than list $10 cards and sell them for $1. So that's kind of the mindset that I have. And, I want to every once in a while give out some deals, but I don't want it to be on a regular basis. I want a happy medium. Like I also, as much as it's fun when I sell a Cal Raleigh base rookie for $72 or a Michael Jordan junk wax era card for $35. Like I want it to be a little more realistic. I don't want to sell those cards for $1, but 35 and 72 outliers on the other end as well. I want a happy medium where we all win. But it is fun when I see those bidding wars. Although like last night, I don't often get cancellations, knock on wood. I did last night, though. I had 3 cancellations, or I think 4 or 5 cancellations from 3 different buyers. It's like, no, I even haven't, no cancellations. Like, one guy meant to put a different bid in twice. Like, you just need to log off. Like, you're having a rough night, man. Like, sorry, no cancellation. And it's not like if the person who paid or bid $72 on the Cal Raleigh rookie and they wanted to cancel, I would be open to that. But when it's $25 for a hobby box of 1988 Donruss, like, no, like that's basically what they sell for. So I know it was, and I think that's what it was. I don't know if it was that exact, but it was somewhere around that vicinity. It was sealed wax, and my sealed wax was not going for crazy prices last night. It was going for, now some people will say $5 for a pack of 90 Donruss is crazy. And I would have said that 6 months ago, but on eBay Live, like that's the going rate on junk wax packs. It's kind of settling $3 to $8 depending on the pack. The 87 Fleer was going for about $10. I think 10, $11 a pack is what it was going for. I think one sold for $8, but yeah, it wasn't, there was nothing cancel worthy that it's like, okay, you legit like screwed up and put a random high bid for your max bid, but this wasn't the case in these auctions. And of course, they play it would really go a long way for future business from me. It's like, well, if you're going to do this, I don't want future business from you. I'm okay not having you in my business life. Where are we at? Max says for the 70s, 80s stuff, you have to coordinate with the nursing homes when nap time and food time is. So your 2 to 4 p.m. window is where you bring the noise. There you go. My 70s, 80s stuff, 2 o'clock in the afternoon before nap time. That dude says you were showing a 1990 Upper Deck Nolan Ryan. Not sure how long that will be hot for alive. Here's the thing. Will the 1990 Upper Deck Nolan Ryan be hot for a long time? No. But there's going to be something else that comes along. Dan Marino is no longer hot in my live streams. There was a good 3-week run where everything Dan Marino was selling for $10 a pop. Michael Jordan's like kind of the opposite of this. Michael Jordan and Ken Griffey Jr. went soft this weekend. I was selling Jordan cards for $1, which typically go for $8. I was selling Griffey cards for $1 or not getting bids on Ken Griffey Jr., which typically go for $5. So it goes the other way and it goes back and forth. So will Nolan Ryan be hot? No. But there's always going to be some player that all of a sudden it only takes 2 people to want that card more than it's worth to create those bidding wars. And right now I'm seeing, kind of a rush on Nolan Ryan. Cal Ripken Jr. has been faring well. Really, any of those early 80s, there's some exceptions. Like for some reason, George Brett just doesn't have much market. However, Buy It Now, my George Brett, when I did Buy It Now, George Brett was like flying out of my Buy It Now store. And kind of like Nolan Ryan, I have hundreds of Nolan Ryans and they just wouldn't move out of my Buy It Now. So will specifically a player or a card be hot for the long term? Absolutely not. But that's the great thing about live selling is in real time, you start seeing these trends. Oh, Nolan Ryan's hot. Well, here, I've got 100 more. Let's run them. Now, I'm not going to run 100 different Nolan Ryan singles because obviously supply and demand. But over the course of a few weeks, you're going to get these pockets and it's going to move on from Nolan Ryan to Robin Yount, from Robin Yount to Dennis Rodman. And there's always going to be, there's always going to be that like, wow, you look at Whatnot and, Whatnot, eBay Live's such a young platform still. You look at Whatnot and Whatnot's been around. Live sellers and buyers have been in Whatnot for 3, 4, 5 years now. There's still stupid sales on Whatnot 5 years in. So it is what it is. Mark says, walked my local show this weekend and was able to pick up a handful of Star Jordans. The Mantles will be running on Wednesday night. What do I have? I think I'm going to run 4. So I bought 6. I'm holding 1 back for just like future auction. 1 is going into my personal collection. And then I'm going to run these 4 on Wednesday night. This Wednesday, I've got a 68 Topps game PSA 2, a 1960 Topps PSA 1, 62 Topps and a PSA 3. I for some reason, I like that card. And a 61 Topps and a PSA 2. So those will run Wednesday night. 6:45 is actually when I'm starting that show. 6:45 on Wednesday. So fingers crossed. We get that push. So yeah, those Mantles. I have a feeling based on what I paid, I think I'm going to lose money. And I'm going to let's see. Because I paid I paid about $183 per card, and I'm keeping 1. So let's just say, so I'm going to keep 1 for my own collection. So that puts my buy-in at $220 per card, which I don't think I'll get $200 a card on those. I have a feeling they're going to sell in the $150 range. But if I get that push, if I get 50 to 100 people in the room, they could end up going for 200 plus. But my thought process is they're going to be in the $150 range. That's kind of where I'm guessing. CL on the road, what's going on? Good morning. Good to be with you live. I normally watch the recording at night. Welcome back in. I've been moving through some of the wax, getting good returns on my purchase from you. So thank you, Chris. Gem City says, very nice work. Red light. Shark City's in the house. Just finished seeing your yesterday live. Sounded brutal with only 6 people in eBay Live. So here's the thing. I was down to 3. Was this, what day was this? I had like, there's been like, it's been a tale of two streams within one stream. I had a stream. Was it Friday? It was Friday. Friday's stream got down to 3 people in the room. Unfortunately, 2 of them were bidding, not against each other, but they were putting bids on like, what will you bid on? Okay, I'll run this. There were across all of eBay's singles, sports card singles, there were 30. This is Friday afternoon. Now it's Friday afternoon, Halloween. There were 31 people across eBay Live in sports card singles among 3 streams. I think there were 20 some in ComC. I had 6 and the other stream had 5. So I think 20 in ComC. And I got down to 3. But then I rebounded and I ended up having a good day on Friday afternoon. I wonder if I have my stats for that. And then yesterday Saturday was really good. I did a daytime stream on Saturday and I doubled what my expectations, actually almost tripled my expectations on Saturday. Sunday started really slow and finished strong. Last night I had 1 of 3 hours was really strong. The first 2 hours were brutal last night. Okay, do I have my stats for Halloween? I do have my stats for Halloween. So I had 266 total viewers, which is really low. Usually I'm probably averaging around 500 viewers at a time. I had 25 peak concurrent viewers. This is Friday. I did gain 5 new followers. That's good. Only 266 total viewers. 5 new followers is good. Let's see. 96% were returning viewers. I had 10 new viewers. Hey, how about this? 10 new viewers and I got 5 new followers. So that's a damn good conversion rate. And I ended up doing, I did 225 auctions on Friday. And then I ended up doing, what night did I end up doing? Or was that Friday that I did? No. Saturday. It was Saturday afternoon. So Saturday afternoon, I ended up doing 50 more auctions. Maybe it was Saturday. We were down to 6. And then all of a sudden, it's like all these people came in and bang, I was killing it Saturday afternoon. That's what propelled me to tripling my expectations. I'm getting them all confused because I ran 4 streams in 3. No wonder I'm tired. I ran 450, 550, 650, 675, 9. I ran almost 1,000 auctions Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 975 auctions between Friday and Sunday. Where are we at? Tracy says, my break from buying and organizing and selling soon, I hope, is going well. I can see the floor in my card room again. Oh, that's a good feeling. I've got boxes behind me on the floor that I've been going through. I feel like I'm starting. Thankfully, Shane and I did that trade and we were able to talk, and some of his not organization, but efficiency. Some of his efficiency has worn off, and it's like, you know what? What am I doing? I've had some of these cards for 10 years. Yeah, 10 years. It's like, what am I doing? Why am I keeping all these boxes of 81 Donruss? It's like, well, it's 81 Donruss. It's not junk wax. People might want it. No, it's been 10 years. Nobody wants my 81 Donruss. They're going in the storage unit. So I've been more efficient just getting rid of stuff. Not getting rid of stuff, but getting ready to put it in the storage unit, hopefully sell my storage unit for $1,000 and, turn that into liquid gold. Chris says, what's your theory on why sealed junk wax sells for so much? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think part of it goes into my theory on 80s and 90s stuff and why 83 top singles sell for $3, $4, because nobody else on live, not too many other people are doing that on live, especially on eBay Live. So they see that. It's like, oh, I've never seen an 83 tops George Brett All-Star. That's cool. I want it. I'm a Royals fan or whatever. So I think that's part of it. That's probably like, ooh, unopened wax. And really, when you think about it, like most of us probably see dollar junk wax at a card show and like, oh my God, who's paying $1 for a pack of 91 Fleer? And yet I sell packs of 91 Fleer at card shows for $1 a pack. People it's nostalgia. And if you were buying stuff, like I overpay for 91 Upper Deck football at times. It's like, oh, I want a rip and I'll overpay for this 91 Upper Deck box. Cause it's nostalgia. And, I think that's part of it. Like sometimes as collectors, like we forget, like a lot of us are not collectors. A lot of us are resellers. And we just see the dollar signs when it comes to cards that are commodities. And we forget as collectors, we often don't care the difference between $1 and $5. Like I'll overpay for Cubs stuff. If I don't have a Cubs card that I want, I don't care if the last one sold for $1 on eBay. If it's in front of me at a card show, it's like, oh, I don't have that Mark Pryor card. I'll pay $5 or $10. If it's a slab, I'll pay $10 for that or $20. I might have paid $20 for that at a card show. And it's like, well, one just sold on eBay for $7. I don't give a shit. So I think we forget about that. And I think that's because we don't have that mindset. We are mostly just looking at the comps and the dollar signs, and we forget the collector aspect of it. And it's when you're talking about junk wax packs, like really, like most of it's not selling for crazy amounts. Now, 91 Fleer packs for $15, which they've sold for, that's crazy. Like that's like, huh? But I get, if you really want it, if two people really want it, they'll outbid each other. But most of my junk wax sells for $5 a pack, which we see on the surface like, wow, you could go to a card show, but if it's right there in front of you, it's the donut. If there's Halloween candy, there's a bowl of candy on my counter. I'm going to eat the shit out of that candy unless I put a note that says, hey, eat a banana. But I'm not going to go to the grocery store and buy candy. But if it's right in front of me, and I think that's the power of live selling, it's right there in front of you. Hey, I'll buy that 91 Fleer pack for $5. $5. I don't care if it sells for $1 somewhere else. So I think that's part of it. I think that's a big part of it. Max says, I wish I could take a break some days. Max says, Chris, your average human is a D+ student is mine. Mark says, I almost bid on the mantles a couple weeks ago. Glad I didn't bid you up. So I did not win the 58. I won the 60, 61, the 62s, and the 68 game piece. I'm keeping the 62 All-Star, and here's the story behind it. So when I was young, when I was a kid, my brother was a big collector. My older brother, 20 years, by the way, 20 years separated us. Different mom, same dad. So my brother was out of the house, and he got into the baseball card craze of the late 80s. But he was also collecting like vintage. He was buying mantles and Clementes and stuff like that. So when I was, I don't know, probably 7 or 8 years old, I never cleaned my room. Can you imagine? I was a messy kid. And my room was a mess. There are cards on the floor. Imagine cards on the floor. Imagine that. Cards on the floor. And my parents just couldn't. My parents were very passive. And I didn't have much discipline. Um, and they couldn't get me to clean my room. So my brother dangled a carrot and said, if you keep your room clean, I think it was only like 2 weeks. Like 2 weeks is nothing. I mean, 2 weeks to a 7-year-old is fucking eternity. But now I'm like, God, 2 weeks, shit. I'll scrub the toilet for a Mickey Mantle. So he said if I kept my room clean for 2 weeks, he would give me a 1962 Topps All-Star Mickey Mantle. And I'm like, oh, Mickey Mantle. And of course, Mickey Mantle's still alive in 1989 doing the card show circuit. And Mickey Mantle was like larger than life. The 52 Topps Mantle was a big thing, still is. So I'm like, oh, Mickey Mantle. I mean, that's kind of like the equivalent as me as a 7-year-old in 1989. Mickey Mantle, in my eyes, was very, very similar to The Sandlot and Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth, the great Bambino. So I don't even know if I kept my room clean for 2 weeks, but my brother gave me the 62 Topps All-Star Mickey Mantle. Fast forward about 15 years, I'm in college, and I needed beer money, basically. So I'm selling all my cards. And when I was in high school, when I got to high school, I was buying and selling on eBay, and so I had accumulated some stuff. And I decided in college, I'm starting to get credit card debt, and I'm like, shit, I need to sell some shit. And guess what my highest card was? The 62 Topps Mickey Mantle. Even though my brother gave it to me, it's a 7-year-old, I sold that fucking thing for some Keystone Light money. And it's never been something that I'm like, because it's a common card. I mean, it's not like it's a rare 1 of 1 or a rare back T206 or something. I mean, I could probably find one at the next card show I attend. So it's never been something that there is sentimentality to the card, but it's not something like I don't collect. Like I don't collect anything other than Cubs. And so I'd rather have a rare Adam Greenberg Cubs card than I would a Mickey Mantle. But my buddy Justin runs Rabbit Hole Auctions. And so I was actually looking at that T206 lot. Man, I can't believe how much that sold for. That was, by the way, that was delivered to my house. And we opened it together at 5 Star Cards and looked through it. So, but going back to it, I saw I'm going through the auctions and Mark, you were an influence in me buying the Mickey Mantles. It's like, that is a good idea because Mickey Mantle is the type of player that will do well in a live, that should do well in a live. It's got the name, it's a slab, it's been, all that. So I went through and I put bids on most based on what I thought. Now I put my bids in based on within reason, can I make money or at least withstand some type of basically a marketing expense. My buy-in was what, $183 per card. Yeah, I think I'm going to sell these for $150 a card. I'll just use that $33. That's basically going to be a marketing expense because, hey, look, I've got Mickey Mantles on my live stream. So that's kind of how I looked at it. Just so happened, one of the auctions had the 62 Topps All-Star Mickey Mantle. And I'm like, wow, that's the card. Man, I remember that. My brother gave it to me when I was 7, and I sold it for some money to grab a 30-pack of Keystones. And so when I won the auctions, I'm like, I've got to keep, because it's my friend Justin. And, I've been with him on the launch of this auction since, he came up with the idea. And I've got to keep this as a memento of the inaugural auction. And it has that, personal tie-in because I don't have the card anymore that my brother gave me, how many ever years ago, 35 years ago. So that's the one I'm keeping. 4 will go up. 6, I think the 60, no. Is it maybe the 59? What I'm trying to think of what the other mantle was that I won that's sitting in the other room. But I'll run 4 of them on Wednesday, and then keeping one for a future auction and then one for the 62 for my own collection. Mark says the 62 should bring 275. Oh, okay. Well, hopefully it does. Hopefully it does. You are welcome, Red Light. Shark City says, have you thought about trying Whatnot over eBay? Hell no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I noticed there are way more buyers on there at any given time during the day. I am riding eBay Live through hell or high water. So, nope, I am not going to Whatnot. I am sticking to eBay Live because here's the thing. eBay is a much larger company than Whatnot. eBay has much more. Whatnot's making a hard push. They reached out to a friend of mine who basically dabbles and it is not like a seller basically at all. And they reached out to him to sell on Whatnot. And then I got a Instagram message from Whatnot from Whatnot, wanting me to sell. And I'm like, no. Whatnot Sports sent me a message. Love your inventory. I think you'd be a great fit for our seller program on Whatnot. So it's like, no. The thing is, like, eBay is eBay, and eBay Live has only been going for 6 months? Now it's been active for about 2.5 years. They didn't put any resources into it until 6 months ago. Will there be more sellers? I don't think they can add any new sellers now at this point because they're what we've seen over about 10 days. I think the glitches have pretty much this weekend. I had far less issues with the tech than I did over the previous week. And I think part of that is they've got too many sellers and it's just too much bandwidth. And look at Friday, 31 people on. How many buyers are on eBay? Millions and millions. So I am not worried about low viewership. Now in the interim, like I have to work around it. Like, am I going to run a 1962 Topps PSA 3 Mickey Mantle at 2 p.m. on a Friday afternoon with 6 people in the room? Are you crazy? No. So you run dollar cards. You just work around it. It sucks when there's 6 people in the room, but hey, it is what it is. Bargain Boxer says, the show I went to yesterday in Peoria had more dealers than customers. So all of those influencers who say this hobby is booming, just flat out lying. Well, I mean, can you really gauge the pulse of the hobby based on a show in Peoria, Illinois? I know they say, will it play in Peoria? But I don't think we can take one person's observation at one show in Peoria, Illinois as the gospel for the entire hobby, because I can tell you, I mean, if I based it on my show, the hobby's like booming more than ever. And it's already been 10x'd if we took my, observations, but not the case. Florida baseball card dude, good morning. Red Light says, I'll take the 81 Donruss. Will you take a truckload? Nostalgia, childhood. Mark says, thinking alike. Sunflower says, do not underestimate the educational value of well-run lives for novice buyers. That's a good point. Bargain Boxer says, I bought an Eddie Stanky auto yesterday. Who does that other than me? Where's Cooter? I bet Cooter would buy an Eddie Stanky auto. That sounds like something Cooter would do. Where's Cooter? He's in the airport. What is it? Hartsfield in Atlanta. Buyers get spoon-fed a full menu of options in a stream like Bose. And that's kind of what I like doing. Like, I think that's why I think that's why they succeed, is because of the randomness. Whereas I do wrestling night or specific theme, it doesn't do as well. And it's not as fun for me. The first wrestling night was really fun because it was new. And then the second one was also fun. And then the third one was less fun. And the fourth one, it's like, this is kind of getting to be a grind. And then by last Thursday, it was like, this kind of sucks. Dat Dude says, just listed some 1991 Fleer rack packs with Griffey on top. Nice. Hope someone is looking. Bargain Boxer says, card shows, you ain't paying Illinois their 10% sales tax on eBay and shipping. This the break says, the room looks more interesting since I last seen your live. Yeah, it's kind of gotten out of control. My wrestling night box, which I need to, the whole room I need to work on. Sunflower says, the reason junk wax sells well in your streams is the age of your audience, pure nostalgia for most, and it's affordable. I think that's the case. It's not it's not like, you can tell in a live stream who the kids are and who the adults are. It's really easy to tell. When I get comments in the chat, I can tell, well, that's probably a high school kid or a junior high kid or a kid. And then I can tell, oh, that person's probably around my age. And the people buying the junk wax are definitely people around collectively our age. I think we're all probably similar age. This the break says, like to dig through those boxes on the table, LOL. Mark says, I'll send you a pic. My first mantle purchased with my late dad was the 62 All-Star. Have it displayed in my office to this day. That is super cool. Max says, they didn't make you do it. You mean they didn't make you do it. Guess it worked. Room looks pretty clean. It is a disaster because you can't really see the rest of the room. Let's see. Mark says, Justin knows I want the T206s. Low roller, what's going on? Did eBay Live get fixed? I think so. We had less issues. Mark says, I think you will be able to get some great low-grade raw mantles in Chicago. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to a fun weekend in Chicago in, is that 3? I think I've got something else going on something came up in well, actually it might be the same weekend as Chicago. Let me see. When's the Chicago show? Is it the week after next? Or is it the week before? I think it's the week before my show. The week before Thanksgiving. Yeah, okay. Well, shoot. That coincides with the grand opening of the card shop just down the street from me is that weekend, but I'm going to be at Chicago for that. Chicago, there you go. It's the week before Thanksgiving. I will be there Friday. What are shows? Does it open at 3? I might even buy the VIP to get there early, which I don't think I've ever done for the spectacular. Show info. Let's see. Friday. Oh, VIP at 1. I'm going to get VIP. It's only 30. I mean, the general admission is 15. The VIP is 30. I'll pay $30. See, that's VIP works. VIP does work. Like for 2 hours. Heck yeah, I'll do it. Now, VIP works at a big show. Would it work at Madison? Probably not. I'd have 3 people that would want to come in an hour or 2 early. Let's see. Did your Pokemon card show slow down? No. It actually the Pokemon show has actually gained so much ground. I've got regular dealers that didn't get a table. I sent emails out. I posted on the Facebook page. There was plenty of tables still. And I had 2 or 3 messages yesterday. Hey, I didn't get a chance to get a table. Well, at this point, you snooze, you lose. So I've got a waiting list. It's November 3rd. The show is on November 30th. And I've already got a waiting list for the Pokemon show. So the Pokemon show has not slowed down. Bargain Boxer says, why would he leave eBay Live? All the sheeple are on eBay. $70 for a Cal Raleigh. Hell yeah. It's been a while since I've got a crazy amounts on stuff that shouldn't do that. That'll forever be the highlight, the craziness of the highs, the highest of the highs. Shane says, Whatnot is going public next year on a $6 to $10 billion valuation. What's eBay's valuation? Now I'm curious. Let's chat GPT it. New chat. What is eBay's valuation? They gave me eBay's market cap is about 36.75 billion. Alternate sources show a range 35 to 38. Its enterprise value is listed around 38 billion. There you go. I'm surprised Whatnot's valued that high. Let's see. How much did Whatnot bribe you? They did not offer $100,000. If they offered me $100,000, I'd probably be like, yeah, I might do that. Dairyland Picker, will you let other sellers collaborate on your eBay Live? That is something that is in the works. That is absolutely something that is in the works. Right now, the problem holding me back, and I've already had conversations with a couple potential people I want to bring on. The problem right now that I'm running into is how to work it out on the back end, financially on the back end. And you know how I hate jumping through hoops. Right now I would have to jump through hoops to do it. And I'm not ready to do that. eBay doesn't have a good way. They have made a step in the right direction. But it's still probably not something that would work. And I've actually had I've had discussions with eBay, with people within eBay about this. There's just they've given me, they've offered some ideas on how to do it. It's just, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that right now. I'm still focusing on building my eBay Live. So it's definitely something that I'm going to pursue in the near future. Possibly early 2026 for target, but I've really got to sit down and figure out how to do it in the best way possible. It's also something I got to talk to my accountant with regarding like the commissions and how that all works, based on what lane I decide to go down. So that's definitely, the conversations have been had with multiple, with eBay, because my first question was, I'd like to do this, but will eBay let me do this? They absolutely will. And they were, willing to hold my hand with it as well. So that's good. The break says Peoria is a third world country. LOL. There is some truth to that. Cooter says Cooter got Stanky's auto in person in the 80s. How about that? See, I knew it. Max says well-run lives sound like idiots with money to piss away. So same thing. Clean your room. Your parents didn't make you do it. Let's see. Where are we at? Low Roller says they have a new WWE SmackDown champion, Saturday night's main event. Jade Cargill. I don't have many Jade Cargill cards. I think I bought one at the last Madison card show. Dad Dude says, when more money gets poured into the production and marketing of live selling by individual sellers, do you think eBay will go the route of YouTube? All big boys will push ahead. Yes, that's exactly what I think. That's why I'm pushing early adopters. And I don't think I think it's early adopters on any platform you're on. Like if you're one of the first, and especially on a platform like eBay, look at the successful, look at the highest ranked sellers on eBay, and look at when they started their business. Like that runway, that early adopting runway is huge. So yes, and same with Whatnot. I mean, there's no difference in Whatnot. Look at the biggest sellers on Whatnot have been with Whatnot for the most part. Yeah, you're going to have, same with eBay. You're going to have sellers that have come in later on and have big success, but for the most part, a lot of the biggest sellers were, in on the early days. That's why I don't want to, get my focus taken away. And, that's why when there's 3-6 viewers in the room, you just, as much as it sucks and it's a pain and, you just keep plowing through it, and eventually things turn around. Even, in the same stream, things will turn around, hopefully. Max says they're having their grand opening on Spectacular Weekend. I mean, really? That doesn't matter. I've had the Madison Card Show on Spectacular Weekend, and the customers were still there. Did a lot of, did I lose quite a few vendors? Absolutely. It was one of those decisions that had to be made. Like, well, you either have a Madison card show in the month of November or you don't. And it just so happens if I have to have one, it's going to be on the Spectacular Weekend. I ran Madison Card Show on Spectacular Weekend like 3 or 4 times. It didn't really hurt. Was attendance down? Probably. Were the big buyers not in Madison? Of course, they were in Chicago. But it was still a successful card show. Tables still sold out. People still came. And a card show, even, I mean, how many people are going to, I'm skipping the grand opening, but it's also within a walking distance to my house. In fact, do I really want to go to the grand opening? No, because that's when everybody goes. I don't want to go when there's 100 people there's not going to be 100. I don't want to go when there's 30, 40 people at a time in the store. I want to go on a Wednesday afternoon when nobody's there. Like, that's when I want to go. So I'm actually not disappointed that it's on Spectacular Weekend and I won't be there, because I probably wouldn't want to go anyway. Mark says, wait. Pokemon market have slowed down now. Max says, LRS, the market hasn't slowed at all. Stop watching YouTube where all they do is look at graphs of older sealed shit. You should be back buying eBay stock. Probably $50 bill, says this the breaks. Start running giveaways. Nope, I don't. I don't want a free giveaway audience, because you know what a free giveaway audience attracts? It attracts people that bid on shit that want to cancel their orders. And I don't want that. That's not the clientele I want. I don't want givey goblins in my streams. Let's see. That dude says you create a stable under your umbrella. Yes. The New World Order. The New World eBay order. They need to create a platform with a parent account and user accounts that can split accounting access. Makes it all very simple. That is what I want. And that is something they can't do or won't do. They finally, you could not, up until about 2 or 3 weeks ago, you could not have limited access to an account. So we had our own software with the company that I worked for. We had our own software called Alex. And so within Alex, we had multiple different departments. We had finance, we had accounting, we had sales, we had operations, and management. So obviously management, the general manager of the office could see everything. He had access to every different portal within our software. Our assistant manager had limited access, but basically could see everything with the exception of a few different things. And then our finance, they only had access to the operations and finance stuff. The operations could only see the operations stuff. Sales, we could see sales and operations. And then we had access to some corporate sales numbers, but we didn't have complete access to the corporate. So it was all it was divvied up, like depending on what access you had. eBay doesn't have that. Within eBay, you have an account and you either see everything or nothing. So if I had an employee at 1 million Cubs here and they log into my account, they could go in and get my social security number. They can get my bank account information, everything, or nothing. They have to have my password to get in. So that has recently changed. So now there are permissions, but this just changed within a couple weeks ago. Max's idea is so ideally I would like to have accounts attached, separate accounts. So say Max was my Pokemon guy. And so it would be like MD Sports Cards powered by 1 Million Cubs LLC. That would basically be the account. And ideally, he gets the commission rate of whatever it is, or the fee rate of whatever it is. And then that X amount goes to eBay, and then X amount funnels into the parent account. But that can't be done. Hopefully they're working on it. But at this point, it's not an option. Let's see. Did you camp out at GameStop? Max says, I get more Pokemon offered to me at a better price than what GameStop can provide me. What do you think the answer to that question is? Shane says 6 singles titles in WWE are now held by wrestlers who were in AEW in the last 3 years. LOL. Wow. That is crazy. Low Roller. Unicorn Cupcake says early bus is the key to profits. Max says, not around here, brother. Not going to drive half an hour to Target to get 1 box. Unicorn, no buses for this guy. Get AIDS and hepatitis just by looking at him. I use my skill profits to buy Pokemon. Haven't heard that term before, says Unicorn Cupcake. Max says they need to get smart like Amazon and lay off a bunch of useless employees and use the money to invest in themselves in the tech sector. There's a lot of the eBay Live is the platform itself, like it's not a platform, it's basically just a website. There's a lot of improvements that need to be made for eBay Live on TCG Player, and it's been over 2 years that they bought TCG. Low Roller wants to know if I'm selling John Cena cards. I've got John Cena. EIN number instead of SSN. Start a corporation at this point. Tax breaks as well. Yeah, they have. You know, it might be my EIN number now because I am a business account. Let me look at my account and see. Now that you mention it, so here's the T-Max. I got to look into T-Max. Maybe while I'm on my, I don't want to pay for Wi-Fi on the flight. Let's see. Here we go. Business info. I want to see payment info. It's probably going to be under my payment info for the bank account information. So my social security number is probably not in here, but my payment info is going to be. Oh, got a pass key to get in. What's my passcode? Let's see. So it's not, I wonder if I go in and edit. Okay. So I can't see it. So that's okay. So you can't actually see the social security number. Like it's in there, but I don't think there's a way. It still has my old, I got to figure out how to change that. All right. Anyway, moving. All right. That's what I had for today. It's, wow, it's 10:15 already. I got to go. Have a wonderful day. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. A lot of shipping for me today. Next eBay Live will likely be on, will be Wednesday night for sure. I may sneak in a show on Wednesday morning or Wednesday afternoon. We'll see. But check out my eBay Lives. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.